Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and happy Valentine's. Hope you are having some great time. And today I'm going to talk about how the things a narcissist cannot stand. Dealing with a narcissist isn't the easiest thing to do, and most of your interactions with them actually will leave you feeling worse about yourself, especially when you've not healed on a deeper level. So when they have you at their grasp, you might even feel that you are so powerless to the point that you'll never break free from their spell. But regardless of all this, what you don't realize is that you have way more power over them than you can possibly imagine. They need you, they need your emotions, they need your reactions, and there are things which they don't really like. There are some things which they really hate. They've probably left a debt in your life, and one of the common questions you may ask yourself is something like, how can you make them miserable, or how can you get your revenge? So, though like focusing on making the narcissist miserable is not the best thing for your healing journey, understanding what they hate will be an eye opener for you on how you can be immune to their threats or on how you can starve them so that they can stop bothering you in your life. And it also helps you to understand the areas in your life you need to focus on so that you can be narcissist proof and not easily fall prey for their games of deceit. And I'm going to list you 9 things which they cannot stand. The first thing which a narcissist cannot stand is when they lack supply. That's the point where you're not giving them what they want. You're not reacting and falling for their provocations. You're not giving them attention and their admiration they want. You are more like a stone and you don't serve their needs. So they really don't like that, and they will abandon the scene or find another source of supply, or they'll pull out extra cards from their manipulative arsenal. They need some sense of approval and acknowledgement to feed their fragile ego and to feel special. But when you're not giving them that, they don't really like it. They can't stand it. The second thing a narcissist cannot stand is being told no. This because they're used to using their manipulative techniques and their insidious techniques to obtain what they want, often at the expense of your own feelings. So when you have these unshakable and strong no followed by another no, they don't really like it. They may react with rage when faced with that strong no because they are not accustomed to being rejected. And they struggle to understand why someone else can just refuse their approaches. And their lack of empathy stops them from understanding the other person's perspective. Even if they attempt to understand, they may refuse to accept the reality of the situation. They may refuse that that person has rejected them or has said no to their approaches. So if you are able to have that unshakable no, that firm no, then they can't really stand you. The other thing a narcissist cannot stand is authority. They cannot stand authority or being in a position where they have to be answerable to someone else. They want to be on top of the hierarchy because being below the hierarchy threatens their desire for power and control. So they don't like being answerable to anyone or to see that someone else is more special, talented, or just knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than them. So in what kind of situations they can be really hard to work with and are quite unruly and unreasonable when they are given basic instructions. They just want to rebel these basic instructions. They may even go to the extent of ruining the credibility of that authority figure just so that they can be seen as this special one. They don't want to see someone else being above them. The other thing a narcissist doesn't like is being confronted with cold facts. This because their egoistic selves cannot admit weakness or failures, as it goes against their belief of maintaining a positive self-image at all times. So, say when you have them cornered, let's say you have screenshots, you have receipts, they will deflect them, and when there's no other option, they look for an exit from the situation because they can't stand the fact that you've figured them out. So they just can't stand factual information which they are less likely to dispute. If it's just a fact, let's say you've received those messages from another person, they can't really stand it. And they'll just find a way to deflect it or to exit the situation. The other thing a narcissist cannot stand is when you stick to your boundaries. When you stick to your boundaries, it will make it really difficult for the narc to manipulate you and use you as they wish. In fact, this is the ultimate in your healing journey, is to get to the point where you can set and uphold your boundaries even when the narcissist has pushed you to the corner. They will keep, of course, trying to manipulate you and to provoke you so that you can lower your boundaries. But when you are able to assert your boundaries and be firm on them, they will be angered and frustrated because they cannot get what they want from you. So they cannot stand you when you stick and uphold your boundaries. The sixth one is being ignored. A narcissist cannot stand, or their fragile ego cannot stand being ignored, especially by someone they had in their grasp. So when you heal to the level where you're not being emotionally triggered by their actions, they will not have something to use against you. They will not have something in you to use against you. And the buttons they used to press in you in the past when they sought to manipulate you have just been neutralized. So by healing what made you susceptible to their games of deceit, you've automatically ignored the narcissist. And by emotionally detaching and showing no emotional reaction to their games, the narcissist will feel that they've lost their power over you. And they can't stand being ignored, especially by someone who they had in their grasp. The other thing a narcissist cannot stand is you thriving. They cannot stand you moving on, being happy, or focusing on yourself, or just moving on, or having a better life than when you were in that relationship. So when they discard you, they expect you to struggle, or they expect to see you that you can't really survive without them. So they want you to go back, to go crawling back to them, or to go even beg them for forgiveness, or just want them back. They want you to focus on them. But when you move on and thrive, it's like a dagger because they perceive that you are ahead of them. So you've surpassed them, which makes them look insignificant. And they cannot bear the thought of anyone in their cycle succeeding or surpassing them. And they'll just find a way to talk ill about those who are far much ahead of them so that they can be seen, so that they can convince themselves that they are far much ahead or they are more happy. So they don't like it when you are thriving in life, especially after you've left that relationship. The other thing a narcissist cannot stand is being held accountable. This is because when they've been held accountable, it challenges their sense of superiority and self-importance. They believe that they are above reproach and will often be unwilling to take responsibility for their actions. They really don't like it when they are held accountable for their behavior, and they will of course find a way to deflect it, deny it, or blame others. So when you question them for what they did, they will just find an alibi because they can't stand taking full responsibility of their lives. They don't want to admit their faults or to be seen as failures or as just people who make mistakes. And when you've really cornered them and you have enough evidence, they may at times pull out a fake apology or a stringed apology, but they will never fully take responsibility for what's happening in their lives or for what they've done. The last thing a narcissist cannot stand is your refusal to be hoovered back or your refusal to fall for them again. Let's say when you've healed to the point where you understand that you don't want to be an option to a narcissist, they will not like it. So when they've discarded you or you've left the relationship, the narcissist will of course try to win you back. So when those charms no longer work on you because you know you deserve better than someone who just uses you to meet their needs, they will of course be offended. They will feel that they've lost a pawn in their game and they will not take it lightly. They will of course try harder and harder to win you back, but if you stand tall and refuse all their pleas to hoover you back or to win you back, you'll have made them miserable. They'll feel that they've lost someone and they'll feel that you are moving on and you're not under their spell, and they don't really like it when you're not under their spell, when you've broken that spell. In conclusion, your toxic ex cannot stand a healed you because a healed you knows that they are worthy of a healthy kind of love. And actually, the key ingredient to making a narcissist miserable is you working on yourself and dealing with those unhealed wounds, which make you doubt your own worth, which make you doubt your own value. The other thing is, if you try to make them miserable or chase those revenge fantasies when you've not healed, you'll just be piling more and more pain. This is because you'll be operating life from your tainted emotions and not from your authentic self. You'll be operating life courtesy of the seeds hurt people have planted in you, and not from who you are at the core of your being. When you also chase these revenge fantasies or wanting to make them miserable when you've not healed, you will be comparing your actions with someone who deeply lacks empathy. So you'll be playing in their field, but when you heal, you'll be playing in a field of abundance and peace. You will understand that the energy you are expending focusing on them or even reading about them is just draining you, when all you need is you to focus on rebuilding that life you completely deserve. And when you completely focus on you, you are already far much ahead in your healing journey. Even when you feel like you're not making progress or your pain is not easing, as long as you're focusing on you, it will bring an outcome which will work for you. So when you focus on you, you will progress. But when you focus on them, you will regress. Hope you found that informative, guys. Happy Valentine's again. Until next time, see ya.